Hello and welcome to the Blood Bowl Diaries, episode 1 with me, Hellboy.
And me, TheFear.
Excellent. So we decided to do a podcast.
Yeah, we did. Why have we done this to ourselves?
I don't know. We've decided to throw in another podcast into the absolute abyss of Blood Bowl podcasts. So many quality podcasts out there.
Absolutely.
But I think what we're going to do on our one really is do something a little bit unique, which is we're going to be focusing mainly on the tabletop scene and the NAF tournaments, not only in the UK where we're both based, but also internationally. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's most interested to both of us at the moment, isn't it? The thing that's taking our attention and grabbing our thought processes, and a lot of the chat that we have just between ourselves, away from this kind of thing, is all about that. So yeah, interesting to see if anyone else is interested in in hearing what we've got to say.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's a way of us looking at some meta, exploring some questions, but also we're going to, we've got a few ideas for what we're going to do, and we're also going to draw on our own personal experience and talk about our own tournaments and do some, have discussions about what we're seeing firsthand as well. So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it'll be good. Right, shall we start off with, before we delve into that, let's start off episode 1. We've got to introduce ourselves. I'll go first, seeing as I'm talking now. So I'm Hellboy underscore. The underscore is important, as there is a German coach called Hellboy who I look forward to meeting one day. So that underscore is very important. The mistake has been made a couple of times. And he's actually won a NAF tournament recently already. So that caused some confusion in the Blood Bowl world when someone asked me, "Oh, I didn't know you went over there." I was like, "No, it wasn't me." I've been playing Blood Bowl for a while now. I've been playing. I played as a child, and then I took up the PC game, the Blood Bowl 2. Played loads of hours on that, and then I transitioned into tabletop in 2019, and I also play on Fumble now quite a lot. And yeah, I'm doing loads at the moment. I tell you, we'll get onto that. But yeah, that's people may know me from the Twitch.tv setup. I'm involved in there, which is mainly the Blood Bowl 2 crowd. So that's where people will know me from. But what about yourself, Fear?
Oh gosh, well, I think I probably started playing just after the original kind of third edition, which I suppose is the kind of grandfather of the game that we play today. As a child then, played for a bit, girls and booze, and
Always the
more
way, isn't
booze
it?
and more
Yep.
girls
Yep.
got in the way. Did bits, but didn't really play from about, I don't know, 1996 to about 2015. I think I saw a guy advertising a league locally, went along to that, got back into it. So I was playing at a sort of slightly larger wargaming club, the Wargamers of Wolverhampton. So I decided to run my own league there. Um, you know what? At that point, 2016, I was very much playing halflings and
Yeah.
goblins and ogres and running my own league. And we had 40 odd people, I think, at
That's
one point.
amazing.
So
That's
it's
amazing.
huge. And then you know what it was? It was 2018 Euro Bowl in Cardiff, and a
Mm,
chap called Wolfen
yes. Yep.
and the Tackle Zone did some commentary, and the stuff's still on YouTube, I think, and and it's the first time I'd really seen, I suppose, very competitive Blood Bowl being played, and just completely caught my imagination, and I've gone from there really. And
Yeah.
yeah, where do I play? I mean, I always think of myself as a tabletop player. Fumble, yes, do quite a bit on there. I have dabbled from time to time on Blood Bowl 2, but never quite fallen in love with it.
Yeah, it's one
You
of those
know?
things. Yeah, it's one of those things that we hear it a lot about Blood Bowl 2 and Fumble and all these things. People never seem to like all three, and people seem to be quite protective. But as we both know, we encourage people to just play Blood Bowl. That's something I'm very keen on as well. Just aside from everything else, it doesn't matter where you play your Blood Bowl. Just play Blood Bowl. It's a great game, right? You know.
Well, this is it. I probably transitioned from tabletop through Fumble, ended up on Blood Bowl 2. You transitioned from Blood Bowl 2 sort of back onto the
Yeah.
tabletop.
Yeah.
I think it's all interconnected, and yeah, you might be stronger in one format or another, or you might prefer progression or large teams and big leagues,
Yeah.
or you
Exactly.
might
Yeah.
prefer the more NAF style, It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You know, it's a great
exactly,
game. It's a great game.
exactly. Exactly, yeah, and I think that's so. Let's bring it. Let's move it on now. Then let's have a talk about maybe what we've been up to recently. Then, because obviously we're lucky enough now in the UK that we're having some restrictions lifted. We've been able to get to some tabletop tournaments over the past, the last year, the last few months. We've been going to some tabletop and stuff, but also there's still been that predominant online setup, really, hasn't there? We were Fumble in particular really honoured us with during the lockdown periods loads of NAF live events, loads of leagues running. They've managed to get the new rules, the 2020 rules. I mean, we say new, they're 2 years old now, aren't they? But, they've managed to get those implemented to the point where we can play fantastic NAF Blood Bowl online and stuff as well, and lower TV ranges and stuff as well. So I guess we should open with the good bit, really, which is of course the TSD fumble. Let's open with TSD.
I wonder why you want to talk about that.
Well, let's
Wonder why it
I
was-
yeah, anyway. Well, let's open with that because that's core from the Waterbowl League set that up on Blood Bowl 2 along with the Tackle Zone. Wilfen from Tackle Zone. That's how it initially started on Blood Bowl 2. But then a couple of years ago now, wasn't it? You maybe a year, 18 months ago, you asked if you could start a fumble one. So that's a NAF rule set. So low TV rule set. We're talking 6 to 8, 9 skill kind of things, packs, and low TV. So yeah, you took that on. So
uh,
talk about that a bit, maybe.
yeah, I mean, I suspect it came from the fact that when Core first started streaming, he Wolfen used to jump on and sort of color commentate for him.
I
I suppose a
remember.
little bit
Yeah.
like Zunk and Andy Davo used to be. And I suppose they probably came up with the idea together. Wolfen, has always been. I think he's got a Team England cap. I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But has always been sort of into Resurrection style, NAF style, Blood Bowl. Core, obviously, currently ranked world number one on the tabletop for the format. And really, there wasn't anything around that. Sort of in a league format, gave people chance to play that way, or certainly that he knew about. So when he set it up on Blood Bowl 2, I got involved in that and I enjoyed it. But I don't really love Blood Bowl 2, so I wanted to do it on Fumble.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the pandemic, we go out so much. Asked the question, he said okay. So we, said it, asked the question of both of them as to whether they would mind me taking their thing. Um, and we set it up, and it it just seems to have been really, really popular.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I think the crowd you've drawn in, my goodness me. I mean, we've said it before to each other. The quality of coach that is in that league. I can think of big leagues, right? You can think of that some of the big online leagues. There's big
mm,
leagues on Fumble, big leagues on Blood Bowl 2, where there are quality coaches and big scary teams. But there is nothing quite like doing the draw for a TSD and you go, oh my god, I can't see how I win a game because of the
yeah,
coach. And it's not because, oh no, I've drawn that big scary killer chaos, or oh no, I've drawn the 2000 TV dwarves again. It's, oh my god, I'm in with the captain of France. I'm in with this Italian, this Italian. Oh, that's a guy from Spain who happens to be amazing. Oh, that's one of the Maltese guys who's suddenly getting good. You know what I mean? It's like there's so much quality coaches that just are there. Doesn't matter what they're coaching.
yeah. It's been really interesting to see because I think last season we had at the start of it anyway, all 10 of the NAF top 10 for online rankings, and we had 5 of the top 10 for tabletop. Um, who are slightly different people, which is quite interesting. So, have you sort of, I don't know what it was, 50 odd coaches, 15 are just ranked crazily high. And then some of
It's
those that
insane.
aren't ranked in the sort of top 10, you've got, I mean, Gegster and Dio and, people like this that are sort of legendary Blood Bowl players. Sort of, coming along as well. And yeah, by the time pretty much all of Team Italy had joined, you've got Team Germany and, they're en masse. you're looking around and just seeing just loads and loads of really big name, really quality Blood Bowl players. It's yeah, it's been. I don't know what to make. I felt a little bit of what do you call it? Sort of imposter syndrome, almost
Yeah,
running a league.
yeah,
With Core and Purple Goo and and Joe Manji, and you're just thinking
yeah. These
the
big
Om
names.
Lord of
Yeah,
Bad Storm and Mr. Fumble himself, Purple Chest, and just you're like, oh God.
yeah, yeah. I know, and that's the thing, right? You look down the list of names, and yeah, you could drop that list on the floor and have to pick the names back up off it. It's
Mm,
such a strong. Yeah, it's amazing, and it's credit that at the end of the day, it's just a league, right? Isn't it? But wow, to get everyone together and to keep it going, and yeah, we're about to enter season 3 with the Euro Bowl rules, and I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, we just finished season
yeah,
2. We just finished
yeah,
season 2.
and it was a heck of a season, and do you know what was really interesting was it was the first crack with Blood Bowl, BB 2020 rules for
Yeah,
for sort of that sort of level of play, I suppose.
yeah, yeah. A
That
lot of
sort of
people, a lot of people taking strong races as well. A
absolutely,
lot of undead, wasn't there? There was a lot of undead, fair few dwarf.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Dwarves did very well. Nobility stood out, I think, as being particularly good. And then, of course, one chap just came along with a Necro team, and
Didn't even have a good roster, did he? I mean, my God, he brought a risky roster. He had a hellish division. With 3 games to go, he didn't look like he was going to get out the group stage. And then
absolutely.
on a Saturday in January, he played the semi-final and final within the space of 8 hours maybe. And yeah,
Well, you got to look at it, haven't you? Because I mean, he did pretty good because he did pretty good to set himself up for double dwarf in the semi and final.
yeah, I got
That was
lucky. I got. Let's not end the facade anymore. Yes, I won TSD season 2. I am incredibly proud of myself. I went 7-2-0 with Necro. I played some amazing coaches. I rolled some very good dice. I got incredibly lucky. I made some lovely plays as well. It all fell together. It was one of those dream scenarios, right? It's one of those dream things.
Well,
And
let's. I mean, if you look at the run, let's be honest about this. So you got Candlejack, who you played first, who I suppose is, as far as I know, is in and around Team Germany. You played Junior 84 Lizards, who again part of Team Rerun of Fame, I think. Who 2 year two, well, not the last UKTC, but the one before, I think, were the winners. And again, I would presume will be around Team Germany. You played Speeding
yeah,
Bullets, Wood Elves. He's Team England European. I think was it Spartacos Orcs,
yeah,
who I
Sparsko's
presume
Orcs. Yep,
presume will be around
Team Italy. Yep.
Team Italy. F13s, Dwarfs. Don't
Yeah.
know where the French obviously have a interesting way of picking their teams, so not
Yeah.
entirely
Yeah.
sure whether they'll be around it. But Liam Gallagher, or Liam as he's in NAF, he's undead. He'll be in and around Team Italy, I would have thought.
Yeah.
It's not picked yet. Ball Piffs, Nobility of the Quarters, excellent coach. Good mate of mine, Topaz, who
Yeah.
seems to play in a lot of the leagues that I run.
I've done. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for me and Topaz. I'm now 2-1-0 versus him, and I fear. And I beat him with my Tomb Kings 3-0. I beat his dwarves with my Tomb Kings 3-0 in that little one we ran during the lockdown. Do you remember?
Oh,
I
do you
had that. Oh, that was so. That game was just ridiculous because I looked at it. I was like, I'm sure I've played him before. Right, let me check it. And I saw it was the 3-0 with the Tomb Kings. I was like, oh God, I feel so bad about that game still.
Do you know what though? Because he plays a lot of dwarfs, and he came. He had a horrible time in that little league, but no, he won his
Yeah,
group in TSD.
yeah, came
German
to yeah,
coach, and then obviously Jacaro, who will be, I think, Team Switzerland.
yeah, yeah,
He played the final, so
yeah.
yeah, and you didn't concede a touchdown after game 3.
Yep, and I only conceded touchdowns when I drew, and I won every game bar the final, 1-0. when I won.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy. It was, and it was, and it. But I do think it fell into place. You know, we've talked offline stuff, and I think you know, I'm very proud of myself for winning it. It was a hard tournament. I found Necro challenging, but also very enjoyable. And yeah, it was really good fun. And I'm really looking forward to
Well,
season 3. So it's going to be good.
well, what is it about Necro we're here to talk about now stuff?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, what is it about Necro? You know, given the run, Black Orcs, Lizards, Wood Elves, Orcs, Dwarfs, Shambling Undead, Imperial Nobility. You know, what is it about Necro? I mean, obviously you played incredibly well, and you always have
I
to have a bit
think
of fortune to win these things. But
yeah.
what is it about Necro? They've not been a race that people, I don't think that people have really picked. I
No,
don't think
no.
they're topping the NAF charts. You know, what is it
I
that
think
worked for you?
well for me, I think it was I went really simple with the build. Right, I took 11 players, 3 rerolls, 4 guard, 3 block. Right, I didn't take a mighty blow. I didn't take a wrestle. I just, you know, very adventurous for me. 4 guard, 3 block. Wow, very adventurous. Normally it's only a 1 skill team, really. You know, one additional skill. But
Mm.
yeah, I think I was just able to. Obviously I got a bit lucky, but the thing I found with you know with things like armor breaks and stuff, but the thing I found was that Necro had a really you could if you could judge the turn when to go. I'm going to go all in on you now and base you with 2 stand firm and 2 sidestep with foul appearance. Right, good luck, mate. You know, and it seemed to work. And it was just choosing that turn when it was like, right, I'm going to step in your face now, and I've got 4 guard, and 2 of them are stand firm, 2 of them are sidestep. So where I want those guards to go, they're going to go, you know? And
Yeah, yeah.
then, and so it was about that. And, you know, even a dwarf team, I don't think I played any dwarves with more than 5 guard. I can't remember, but I think most of them had 4 or
Mm.
5 guard. Like, but, you know, 4 guard dwarves, you stun one of them, and all of a sudden you can control them, you know. And I struggled most against the wood elves. Speeding bullet very very nearly ruined my TSD. You know, like it's truthful. It's truthful. I had an awful turn where I rolled 3 ones on GFIs, and he rolled a 1 as well to not be 2-0 up on his drive. That's
Oh,
how
he did. Yeah,
that's how
yeah.
close it was. Like it was so close to me being 1-1, but in the same heartbeat, it could have been 2-0 to him on his drive. And
Yeah.
wood elves are, yes, they are weaker in the sense of the leaping aspect, but they're still wood elves, right? You know, they're still wow. So, you know. And
Well,
spoiler alert, I'm taking them on season 3 because we're going to give them a try. So if anyone, cue the dwarves up and everyone spam them to try and deal with me. Yeah,
I yeah, because I mean, I've tried them out a little bit because I ran a thing called Gauntlet.
yeah,
That was basically like a rip off of something that Dio Spence ran on Blood Bowl 2, and effectively, in the format that I run it, you played 3 games against the same person, and then it was a knockout tournament. And so, because I've been willing to play elves, I took wood elves, high elves, and dark elves. And then actually, you picked 4 rosters, and your opponent got to veto one of them. And so I took a team which was dwarfs with Griff and just called it auto veto because
yeah, yeah. Horrible.
everyone was
Yeah, yeah,
automatically vetoing
yeah.
it.
You don't want to play
You're
that.
only
Yeah,
allowed you only had 1 roster with a star player in it, so it's just.
yeah.
And
Fair.
what I found actually was the Wood Elves. I mean, the High Elves, which is the team that I probably really want to play with, I probably struggled the most with. What a surprise! They're not as strong as Dark Elves and Wood Elves,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
the Wood Elves, I think I won both games that I played before I got knocked out in the semi final. 2-0, 2-0. You know,
yeah.
just and movement 7, edge 2 plus. Sometimes there's still an option for a war dancer leap.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
the other thing is as well a 4+ pass, right? You know, with any wood elf, yes it's not as good as a 2+, right? Let's not beat around the bush, but it's still a 75% success if you put the reroll in it. So you know,
yeah,
in that dire turn where you need to get the ball away, you know, a 4+. If you've got the re-roll and you've got a catcher downfield and you've got a 4+ to make it and it's done, you know, or even a 5+, you know, it is still possible, you know.
Yeah, and you've still got the thrower, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah,
So you know, and you've got loads of movement 7 and movement 8. So actually, to a certain extent, and loads of dodge and edge 2+. So to a certain extent, you know, I don't think passing the ball ever actually came up
yeah.
because
Amazing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
yeah,
could.
yeah,
Well, yeah. You can just do the
yeah.
handoff. It's the same as Skaven. You know, just do the handoff. You know, and I think this. I
Yeah.
think this is something that we're seeing again. Let's bringing it back onto the NAF stuff as well. This is something that we consider, right? A lot of the people that are used to tabletop in a tournament sense are not looking at Dark Elves going, oh my god, they've lost their passing access, right? Because
Yeah.
we're looking at it still as, okay, so on that dire situation where you have to 2 turn, or oh god, you're doing your 1 turn and you bought, you know, there is a really bad, you know, there's a situation where you might need to roll a 6 now, right? Where before
Mm.
you'd have to roll a 4, okay. However, Dark Elves as a team in a 2-1 grind situation have not changed in any way. You know, they've actually got better now. I think in a low TV NAF style tournament. They've got better.
Yeah, I mean, with the Dark Elves in particular, it's interesting that I mean, the I think there's a perception that almost every other team has got slightly worse, right? In
Yeah,
the sense
yeah,
of, you know, elves are now so wood elves, for example, as you say, are now 4+ passing across the board outside of the thrower and the treeman, right? So um, there's this perception that everything's got. Dark elves haven't really, in fact, in some ways, like, okay, so the thrower now passes on a 3+, but dump off triggers before, so the dump off still kind of works the same as it did, because you'd usually be in a tackle zone when you were getting dumped off. You know, when you were
yeah,
dumping off.
yeah, 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 yeah. And
Everything else, I think, is roughly the same cost.
well,
The
they
much maligned
actually,
assassins actually got better.
yeah, yeah,
You know.
and actually in a 1,150 format, you can now get
Mm.
12 Dark Elf players in
Yeah.
a NAF team with rerolls and an
Yeah.
Apo if you want. It's astonishing, right? You know, and I know this because I've been building rosters recently, so we'll move on to that in a minute. But before we move on to what rosters I might have been building for various tournaments and stuff, that we should also add as well that I'm not the only one who won a tournament though semi recently. You picked up a NAF trophy, didn't you?
Yeah, for my yes, I did. I think it was
Yeah.
October. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Well, we should talk about that because that's a NAF tournament, and you know we can't all, you know, okay, I happen to win one of the toughest leagues ever in the world, but no, but you know it's a brilliant achievement to crack that first NAF trophy. So really well done. Let's just run us quickly through because it was a smaller event, wasn't it?
Yeah. So there's a store fairly local to me. Maybe some people have heard of it, called Board in Brum. They've started running some tournaments there. You know, Bibble Basher, I think they're called, and this was Bibble Basher 4, I think, or something like that. So, I mean, it was a fairly flat 1,150 in terms of the builds, whatever that is, 1,150,000 gold
Yeah.
pieces.
Yep.
Star players were allowed, and everybody got 6 skills.
Very nice.
I'd been playing a fair amount of Chaos Dwarf before that,
Yep. Yep.
and you know, decided that I would take Hack Phlegm and some Chaos Dwarfs,
Yeah.
and
Why not? Why not?
yeah,
If
and
everyone's allowed a star, it's not really cheating to bring Hackflem, right? Because everyone can
yeah,
bring the star. You know, you're gonna face a Griffin, a Morg, and another Hackflem at some point.
yeah, and I was probably fortunate. I mean, I suppose as far as I'm aware, anyway, the 2 most experienced tournament players that were there, a chap called Gorgoroth, who I think was using Griff humans, and a chap called Cornish, who was using Underworld Denizens.
Lovely guy, Cornish. Can't stand
Yeah,
him because
lovely.
he's so lovely. Every time you play him, you can't get annoyed when he beats you.
He's a
Love
really
love
absolute
Cornish, love Cornish. Big shout out to Cornish. Hopefully he'll listen.
yeah, absolutely. Well, Gorgoroth and Cornish played each other round 1 and drew. I was drawn against a guy who, I mean, he's not NAF registered, so I don't know how many tournaments he's played, but he was using Wood Elves, he failed the pickup on turn one, and I was just Chorfs were just all over him,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Hack Flame gives you the opportunity to get that turnover score, so we did, and so that was 2-0. Second half drive, everything's dead, Fred, so it's fine. Game two was, I think, humans. From one of the chaps who's one of the teachers at the schooling, is it Caversham, that tend to bring a load of kids to
Oh yeah,
NAF.
it's a NAF C.
Uh,
Yeah, fantastic.
and
Strong players, those. Yeah.
Yeah, so he'd elected to pile the mighty blow onto his blitzers on his human team. I got a bit lucky with the blitz, and so I was 1-0 up on my turn one. Thanks to Hackflem picking the ball up in the tackle zone and scoring.
Yeah.
Look, I had a load of guard. He'd gone down the mighty blow route. It became once the ogre. I think the ogre might have killed itself. When I
Yeah,
both down,
you can lock it up, can't you? You can
locked it up.
shut them down. Yeah, you like a guard
Yeah.
on a Chorf as well. You're like me.
Well, mate, I mean, guard's
God,
my favourite skin.
indeed.
I could take 10 guard.
Yeah, 10 guard. Here we go. Yeah.
Game three was Necro. I mean, effectively, it just came down to, again, I just outguarded him, knocking his stuff down. It was standing back up. Knocked it down again. It stood back up. Eventually, the armor broke. Stuff left the field. Hackflem walked it in for 1-0. I think he went for the win. So he tried to score quickly. It didn't quite work. So Hackflem scored again. So there's 2-0. Game three, Wood Elf guy with Gloriel Summerbloom, the thrower.
Yeah.
He scored quite quickly. I think it was Elven Union with Gloriel Summerbloom. He scored sort of turn 2 or 3. I think his thing was to score and then just basically chuck everything at me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which he did, and none of his stuff died, so that made it awkward. He hit some quite nice dice to stop me scoring. So 1-0 to him at the half, and then he got a blitz and caught the ball, I think, or did he drop it? He may have dropped it. He definitely got a blitz and got someone under the ball, but I ended up recovering. I drew the last game, so I was 3-1-0. I think there was someone else on 3-1-0 with a Varag Orc build.
Oh, nice.
But I tipped it on tiebreakers. So
Yeah.
Also took home most Cas as well.
Oh, lovely, lovely. The double trophy. Well done. I've never done a most Cas or a most touchdowns.
Yeah. So yeah, it was nice. It was nice, and really nice environment. They got a big screen with the clock on. 20-odd players. They've run another one since. It was a team tournament. They seem to be the store seemed to be really invested in running some Blood Bowl tournaments.
Yeah.
So
that's really nice. That's really nice.
Good. Really good,
yeah. So seeing as we're talking about the tournaments now, we got one coming up. And when we record now, we're 2 weeks away from Waterbowl. Not only are we both going to be there, we're even sharing a room together. How lovely!
Well, I've got to pay for that still, haven't I?
Yeah. No worries. Yeah. I won't let you through the door until you scan the card. But yeah, no. So we're going to Waterbowl. Which
have you been before?
No, I've never been before. No, I wanted to go a couple of years back, but it clashed with something else, and then obviously I booked to go 2020, and wham, down came the COVID hammer, and I couldn't go last year because they ran a summer one last year, and I couldn't go to that one, so I cashed my ticket in and saved it for this year. So I've been waiting on my ticket for 2 years for this one, so I'm very excited.
I think I'm pretty much in the same boat. I mean, I'd never been before. I was going to take an opportunity to do it. When would it be? 2020? 2020.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah.
And obviously, as you say, I think they did run something last year, but I couldn't. I couldn't go as well. So
yeah.
Alex Warmel? Leipziger, yeah, very kindly, let everybody roll there.
Very, really, really nice, really nice. You can tell. I mean, that's the thing, right? The Blood Bowl community, all of these guys, they all understand. Guys and the girls, they all understand the situation. So there's no need to be pernickety over things, is there?
No.
as long as people aren't out of pocket, it's all good. So
what I'll say about Leipziger, Alex, is that the first time I met him, UKTC 2019, in the White Hart pub or wherever it is everyone drinks in York. Um, we got chatting because he's obviously, when you're running a tabletop league, and he's kind of the godfather of that because of
Yeah.
the kind of water bowls.
Yeah, of course. It's him and Mike
Uh,
Davies you'd go to for any advice on that
yeah.
sort of thing at all, isn't it? Yeah,
So,
they're
yeah,
the two
so
big
we're
ones.
talking about him, and I mentioned about that we might run a tournament, and he said, right, you run it, and I'll come, yeah. And so in the back end of 2019, when we ran the first tournament of Fear, um, I messaged him and said, right, you said you'd come, and God, he did.
Wow.
And he bought Core, and he bought Barney, and he and he
Lovely.
bought a load of
Yeah.
water bowlers down, and
Yeah.
he's just the nicest guy, just a
Yeah, lovely.
really really genuine nice guy. And I'm really pleased to be able to go back and go to Waterbowl now to sort
Yeah.
of support his tournament. So
Yeah, it's going to
not
be
that he
good.
not that he needs me with whatever it is, 120 people signed up.
My goodness me,
Um,
yeah. And they've gone with
yeah,
the same. They've gone with the same rule set that they tend to. They like a no tier and skill packages which allow for stats ultimately. So you can either go your 5 and 1, so your 5 primaries, 1 secondary. See, I'm using the new terminology now. Or
yeah.
you can basically your skill, your number of primaries and secondary access reduces as you go down this list of skill packs, and you can take either a stat, so you've got either a move, AV, or passing access now, of course, as your first one, but you lose a skill. You can do an agility, but you've lost another skill, whatever. It all boils down basically. Or you can take a strength, and if you go for one of the packs which has a stat up, you must take the stat. So it does offer some. It kind of it in a in not necessarily a bad thing, but there will be some people who always look at it and go, oh well, it doesn't really help the stunty teams. Stunties can take stars, but they don't, because there's no tier. It does, you're going to be a brave person bringing halflings, aren't you? Even with Griff, to that kind of tournament.
Well, what one? I mean, 1.15 mil probably gives you room for something.
Yeah, yeah, it
Um,
might well it
but
might well
but
give the room,
but
but
but but I think it's only 0 to 1 stars as well.
yeah, yeah,
Only stunties can take them, but you can only take one, and that probably kills it, doesn't it? I
yeah,
think.
yeah. But lack of
Um,
stars, yeah. But then it does lean into some particular races. 5 and 1. All of a sudden, the elf teams can take a guard. Your dark elves can take a guard if you want, or your
don't
high
tell me
elves
about it.
can take a guard.
They can,
You
yeah.
know, are you what are you feeling? High elves?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
there we
mean,
go.
cards on the table, I might as well. So, I mean,
Yeah, yeah, it's
I turned 40 in December,
lovely.
invested reasonably heavily in a pro painted team, which was High Elves. Why High Elves? Because I had a High Elf team previously that had been painted by somebody much better than me that I think I'd bought on eBay or something. Not for a
Yeah,
massive
yeah.
cost. But I left them and a load of my stuff on a train in January 2020 on the way back from
Oh,
Italy. So I've got pretty much every team I'd want, apart from another high elf team. So
oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
so having spent the money, and also having never really taken, I suppose. I mean, I know according to GW they're now a tier 1 team, but a traditional tier 2 tournament team to a
Yes,
tournament.
yes, yes.
I thought, well, we'll give it a go. And yeah, you're right. I think. I mean, you don't have to use the secondary, do you? So
No,
you
no,
could
you can go
just go
primaries, yeah.
6 primaries. But it did seem to me that guard on just one guard on an elf team could be quite interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely,
if you
definitely
get
give
it in
some
the
stuff.
right, if you get it right. But I think it's good for undead. I
It
think
is,
getting a
it
block
is
mummy
a block
is
mummy.
is powerful.
There's also
Yeah,
there's also some fun one can have with a sneaky git death roller.
yeah.
There are builds where you can get a bribe into that as well. If you're
I
prepared to
don't.
sacrifice a runner, you can. You know.
Joe Mangi's thing,
Yeah,
hasn't
yeah.
he? A couple of
I've run.
times take
I've
diving tackle
Yeah,
as
diving
well.
tackle exactly. So that was the way you used to do it in the past. Joe Manji did it. I copied Joe Manji's build one time and ran that in TSD as well. Did a diving tackle death roller for a bit of a laugh. It was great fun. Would I do it again? Maybe not, but would I be tempted at some point to do a sneaky git? Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, it's quite an
That could
interesting one,
be
isn't it?
that could be fun. Sneaky git death roller. If you could get a bribe into it, then it might be viable. So there is some wacky stuff to be had, but really, I think if we're going to see from the, I think unfortunately teams like Necro, um, Corn, obviously your Chaos, your Nurgle, there's teams like that where, Chaos and Nurgle need 8 skills. Necro needs 7. 6 is just not going to cut it. I'm, what skill do you drop on a Necro team when you've only got 6 skills? You're having to drop a guard, or you're having to take ghouls with nothing on. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
so there's just a couple of races. Black Orcs. Okay, you can get the double. You're not going to take a stat on the Black Orc team necessarily, are you? But you take the you
Take
take the
6.
yeah you take the secondary, and then you got 5 primaries. But then that means there's a Black Orc with nothing. You know what I mean? It's just like there's a couple of teams where it just feels just a little short. But there is some fun to be had. I suspect we'll see some wacky elves, some wacky dwarves, undead definitely, and lizards. Lots and lots of
Yeah, well,
lizards.
I think this is the one to talk about, isn't it? Because upgrade 3,
Yeah,
3 primary skills, 1 secondary skill, and an edge improvement.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, what? 4 block
yeah,
and an edge 4 and an
yeah,
edge 2 plus skink. Sorry,
yeah,
in
yeah.
doing
And
that.
that's my build. That's my build.
Yeah.
I'm taking lizards. Shamelessly, I'm taking lizards. I love my lizards. And yeah,
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
taking. I'm not. I chose not to take the double on the Crocs. I chose to take, or sorry, the secondary on the Crocs. I chose to take 4 primaries, 4 block Saurus because I'd rather not. I'd rather not necessarily activate the Crocs. And if you put a skill on him, then you're more likely to activate him. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think an Agi 4 skink. My God, it's an auto win button, isn't it? Sometimes, in the rain, that's just then a 3. It's things like that. It's things like that that really make the difference. You can run into the other, run through the tackle zones. It's like having hack phlegm. You just run in, pick the ball up.
Better
Okay.
than Active in some ways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
definitely, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I think
It,
it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it.
you're not worried that somebody might go with edge boosted wood elf?
Yeah, but the thing is I think the Wood Elf Lizard matchup. I heard Spence talking about it the other day. Talking the other day actually, and he was talking about the Wood Elf matchup versus the Lizard matchup, and I think the interesting thing is it's such a bad matchup for lizards, right? It's so bad for lizards that you actually spend a lot of time thinking about how you're going to deal with it. So
Mm.
when you get to that tournament, if I sit down versus a Wood Elf team, if you told me, okay, game 1, Hellboy, you're playing Wood Elves, oh, game 2, you're playing Wood Elves, game 3, you're playing Wood Elves, of course, it's not going to be enjoyable, right? Because those games just can be lost, right? Because they bring it is such a hard counter to the lizards. Because you're never taking tackle on a lizard team really, unless you can get some sort of stacking going on it. And you're not. When are you going to get a Blod Sure Hands? Skink. Well, never. There's
Mm.
no tournament's going to give you a Blod Sure Hand skink. So it is a
Oh,
hard matchup. Oh, whoa,
if you
what?
fancy if you fancy a blood hand skink,
Okay.
I don't know what there is. There may be a tournament.
Oh right, okay, right. Well, we can have a look. Maybe we'll investigate that one for a future episode. We can see
Yeah,
we see what's going on. See the wacky tournament builds. See what the crazy tournament builds are.
Mm.
See what some mad rule sets might be. But yeah, I
You're
think
yeah, yeah. I think it's generally right, isn't it? I think I don't foresee too many wood elves. I almost feel like they've got so much negative press. There are
yeah,
so many people that are Yeah, and from what we've seen, I mean, people like Speeding Bullet, who's obviously played a lot of Wood Elves,
Hmm.
people like Bad Storm
Yeah.
in
Store
TS2.
has got Wood Elves working as well.
Yeah, I think he's won a couple. He's won at least one tournament
Yeah.
since tabletop since we've come out of lockdown.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Did all right in TSD as well. They definitely can work.
Yeah.
But
It's
there's been
but
so much negative press that all those casual players, well, not casual players, all those players that might have casually picked up Wood Elves and gone,
yeah.
they're the best team at tournaments. I don't know what to
Yeah.
play, so I'll play
Oh, I'll
Wood
play
Elves.
them. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, probably, I imagine, are slightly put off.
Yeah, I'd agree. And also, the other team I don't think we will necessarily see too many of is Chorfs. We talked about this as well, or just in a chat. You and me were having a chat about races and stuff.
Mm.
And Chorfs. If you're gonna walk into a lizard meta, don't bring Chorfs. You know that matchup is so bad in
I think it. I
at a
think it
NAF
is.
level.
I think at NAF level, I think when I looked at the stats, it is actually the worst between traditional tier one teams.
Yeah,
I think.
I actually played earlier today. I've been back streaming again on
Mm.
Twitch. I'll give my link at the end of the podcast if people want to come and watch and stuff. But I've been
Dude,
streaming
it's
some.
very entertaining. It's very entertaining.
Oh,
I'm
cheers!
watching
Yeah.
some of
All right. Well, you were on my lizard team earlier this morning. Actually,
nice.
you died. You were a skink. You died. So you're a goner, mate. Sorry. But
That's
no,
fine.
I actually played I played the Chorf lizard matchup with very few skills. So maybe not even TV 1050, right? That kind of level, and I just dominate. I got two
Yeah.
Saurus touchdowns in that game because I dominated to the point where I was able to turn him over and steal the ball, and then hand off to a Saurus in his half, and then the second half I had enough time to get the Saurus the ball and walk down as well, because you can just control, because it's just so strong. When the Chorfs have got nothing to counter it, even with guard on the NAF in a NAF setting, they just can't deal with it. It
Yeah.
just doesn't make the cut. So I don't think we'll. I'm sure we will see some Chorfs, right? But I don't think we'll see many Chorfs at Waterbowl.
I think if you're expecting lots of lizards, I think the other thing, and it's really subtle now, the change to the hobgoblin passing,
Yeah.
and it sounds silly, but I mean, as I say, I played quite a lot of Chorf, and what I found since BB 2020 kicked in is that pre that it just seemed a little bit easier to force that slightly early score
And
to
the
then
the 2-3
score
turn back.
score in a tooth. Yeah, it always felt like you had a chance.
Yeah,
Because,
definitely.
and now with Hackflem, they feel too good at that.
Yeah, and without him, yeah.
Yeah. And so I think the last NAF style thing I did on Fumble, I think I went 1-4-1.
Yeah. Yeah. They just
Because
don't.
it just it's a lot of 1-1 draws.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think the other thing is that the what the passing really changed. As I said with the Dark Elves, in the 2-1 grind, you're not worried about it, right? But in the same way with the lizards, I'm bringing a chameleon skink to this one just to see what it's like, because I might need it for the one turn, right? Because that's what screws you. Is the passing is on the in this format, in this tournament format, low TV tournament format. What screws you is the one turn and the pass when the kick's gone deep, or the two turn. Imagine your Chorfs and the kick lands on the back 3 squares somewhere. How are you meant to two turn? You're going to have to do the pass either before you've moved the scoring threats, or you're looking at a 6+ pass.
Yeah. This is it. And I think there's I think that's right. To be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah. So that's Waterbowl. That's Waterbowl coming up. So what we'll do in episode 2 is we will talk about our experience at Waterbowl, and we'll talk about some of the rosters there that we played against, or any rosters that we saw that were interesting, and we'll definitely discuss what the kind of meta fell into, and if there was anything that really took our eye, not only in a in a good way, the meta good way, but also something that really caught us about being quirky. Because I'm sure there's going to be some wacky rosters, and there are some quality coaches there. Who's your? Can you pick 5 coaches off that entry list? Who you think are gonna put in a shift at Waterbowl? Do you think if they bring a
I mean,
strong?
there's some names here, isn't there? I mean, obviously, anytime you see Purple Goo, you
Yeah,
think if he turns up to play, that'll be you know that'll
yeah.
be
Someone's got to go through him. Yeah,
yeah. I think our friend Core is actually doing admin
he's doing admin. Yeah, yeah,
rather than actually playing.
yeah.
Um,
Podfrey's
I
in there, isn't he? Podfrey's in there. Lot
Podfrey now.
lot of Team
Last
England, isn't it?
last time I looked at Podfrey, I think he lost a game at Star to Golden Gate, Underworld versus
Oh
Golden Gate
yeah, yeah,
in September. And since then, I don't think he's lost. I think he's won every single game. I think he's won 2 straight back-to-back tournaments, and I think he beat Core 4-0 at one point in one of them.
amazing,
Uh,
amazing.
so Podfrey's on a bit of a run, and back in Team England as well, which
Yes,
is
yeah, really great for him. Really, really happy for that. Yeah,
and obviously hometown,
yeah,
hometown advantage.
yes, exactly.
Um,
Yeah,
there's as you say, people like Gegster and Joe Manji and Lycos are all on that list. Our fellow Welshman, Mr. Davo, is
yeah.
obviously going to be in
Andy
attendance.
Davo coming. Yep, yep. That's
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
and then you know what? There's some really excellent. I mean, I presume everyone can make the trip still, but there's some really excellent foreign coaches coming.
yeah,
Podpod,
yep.
Thurnlow, I think is coming from what I saw. Um,
We must also give a shout out to our friend Volcagio, who's coming from
yeah,
the TSD admin on Blood Bowl 2. That's how that's how you knew him, and we got together and chat there. So yeah, looking forward to seeing Volcagio.
is he bringing Siggy as well? I don't know. They seem to go everywhere together
Yeah,
these days.
yeah. I mean, it's a bit like you and me. I think you seem to follow me to all the tournaments. So I get my entry in first, and there you are. Boom, your name pops up. Five names behind it. Oh, there's TheFear. Right.
Yeah, there's some really exciting.
Brilliant.
There's a streamer here, Rick Reckless. I don't
Yeah.
know
Rick
he's on
Reckless,
table
yeah.
for me.
Oh, he's a great Blood Bowl streamer. Great Blood Bowl streamer, Rick Reckless. A lot of time for him, yeah. No, I think it's gonna be a quality tournament, and I really look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, and yeah, probably the person I've met once, I think, El Duderino. I remember him
Indeed,
being
Duderino, very good friend of mine. Very good friend of mine. I look forward to seeing him.
you and he do some commentary together.
We do the commentary on Davo's channel, yeah. And yeah, his dude's going to be there. It's going to be lovely to see him again. So I guess just to wrap up Waterbowl then, what's your personal goal for the weekend then? Any goal, any goal for the weekend. What's your feeling on it?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to, whenever I go to one of these things, I tend to try and set myself as you know, I tend to try and set myself a personal target, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because the last 3 tournaments I've been to have been 501 at UKTC back in 2020, which
yeah, it's an
is
age ago.
quite high.
Yeah, and it's very high. Yeah, very high, and it's an age ago as well. Yeah.
210 at Star, and then one Bibble with 310.
Yep.
But that's 2 Chaos Dwarfs and an Amazon with Carla.
Yeah.
Taking high elves in this sort of 6 skill thing, I think will be different. So I just reset the clock really, and I say, right, well, let's go for 222 or similar. Let's go for or if it's 141 or
Yeah, nice, something balanced. Yeah.
And then what I'll look at is for me personally, how do other high elf teams get on? If there's any other high elf teams, can I finish above them or in a similar sort of position?
Yeah.
And I think that's where I always started with tournaments. The sort of outside goal is to do slightly better than that and say, right, well, can I finish in the top 25%?
Yeah.
And I think, I'm too competitive a person to go and not try and win.
Yeah, sure.
but as long as I've done my best within that and what the race allows versus the rule pack, yeah, I'll be quite happy with that. I think
Yeah.
maybe a 3-1-2 or something. Just squeeze something so something slightly
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you
something
mean,
slightly
yeah.
positive or 2-3-1 or something. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
be quite happy with that.
Yeah, sure, sure. I think I've got. I'm gonna sound like I'm sort of on some sort of high horse when I say what I'm about to say next. But after making you go first on it. But for me, something that really struck me when we listened to that podcast, the One World One Blood Bowl podcast, which if you haven't heard it, check it out. It's Purple Chest's podcast, very good. There was an episode with Gegster and Purple Goo, and you and me had a chat after it and stuff. Something that really struck me there was about how, of course, we're talking about two legends of Blood Bowl, right? Purple Goo in particular, right? He doesn't have to win every tournament he turns up to. He's got trophies falling out every draw in his house, I would imagine. But something about just enjoying it and having good games and stuff. And I think for me. So for you, it's slightly different because you're bringing a high elf, which is maybe not the race it's not maybe a meta race that you're taking. I'm taking lizards with the auto win agi 2+ button, right? I know I'm bringing a strong race. I'm not only am I bringing a strong race, I know I can coach lizards, right?
Yeah.
If I don't win a game at Waterbowl, he says, touching wood, something big has to go wrong. Right, there will have been something major. If I come away with no win in that, and no one in that column, then something's gone really, really wrong. Right, So for me, it's less about like trying to work out how it does and stuff. It's more about then just enjoying it and trying to play to my best ability, because obviously I've been on form. I've only in January I won the TSD and stuff, so I'm in form at the moment. There's something about that, and it's wanting to just enjoy it and enable myself to play the best that I can without necessarily putting the pressure of a result on, and so because I think the result will come. If it's going to come, it's going to come, right? So if I just sit there and enjoy myself and think about what's going on in front of me, I can probably with that roster I can probably get some wins on the board and stuff and play some good games. And I hope to play some good coaches. Like the list is so tough that you're bound to get at least 2 or 3 games in there. Even if you have a bad day, you're bound to get 2 or 3 games in there versus some good coaches. It's a tough field.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's coaches that we haven't mentioned who are exceptionally strong. There's a guy called Gritter who beat me at my NAFC, who I think is England Open. Sort of last time they picked it, I don't know if he's in the, it's just packed with great coaches, and you can easily sit down on day one and just play great coach, great coach, and have some absolutely tremendous games.
Yeah, exactly.
But not come away with a particularly kind of positive looking record.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I agree with you, and I think that's right. You just got to go and enjoy the games. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Enjoy the games and be relaxed with it, and just and it's going to be lovely being in a room full of nice people again. There's so many friends I haven't seen. You'll be the same, and we're going to be able to just have a great weekend.
Oh yeah, do you know what the thing is, right? It's more than that, isn't it? There's so many friends that I've made in the past 2 years or whatever it is, year and a half, or that I've never met.
Yeah, I know. We've never met.
Yeah,
we talk almost daily.
Yeah, but we've never met.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it? And here we are doing a podcast. Whoa.
Yeah, no, but it's that kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
That there's people that we now know that we just never because so much has gone online.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean it's going to be amazing. 2 weeks time, I can't wait. 100 and what did we say? 120 people.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's assume some drop out. It's going to be over 100. Like it's going to be over 100 people. Even with some dropouts, it's going to be over 100 people.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
And I've already had I had COVID a few weeks ago, so
Oh, lovely. Good work.
So I'm clear of that. That's fine.
Yeah, you've shaken that one off. Yeah, I'm feeling fine. I'm raring to go.
Well protected. So,
exactly. Yeah. Oh, fantastic! Right, I think we might need to skip over the next one actually, and just go on to what's been going on in the world of the NAF, because we're on nearly an hour already. Can you believe it?
I can't actually. That's
No,
gone.
I know that's flown
Really.
by. Should we skip over? Well, because I'm looking at our list right now. So we've done Waterbowl. Should we skip over the next one on the list and do the? Should we look at some of your stats to do with the NAF stuff, and then
Yeah,
yeah, and
absolutely.
do that, because that's that kind of, let's keep on track with our NAF stuff. So recent winners, anything upcoming, any interesting stats? What have you got for me there? You know I love a stat, so hit me with it. What's going on,
Yeah.
Fear?
Well, I mean, I had a quick look on the NAF, and I had a look at January's tournaments.
Yeah.
When I think there were 7 in January, so quite interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
We had the Isle of Wight Speed Bowl tournament, so I think they managed to play a tournament very quickly. I'm guessing it's quite quick play.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Somebody called Big Crisp won his second Speed Bowl with humans. So that's an interesting one on the Isle of Wight. There was interestingly, but probably of interest to both of us as people that are going to the UKTC tournament later in the year. There was a tournament in County Durham called Heart of the Meta
Okay.
that was played using the UKTC.
Oh, right. Using their
Um,
rules set. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
yeah, one day tournament, 3 games, won by Pipey.
Oh, the guy, the
Who,
guy who's running UKTC, who
yeah, the
wrote
guy
the
who
rule
runs
set, who
UKTC.
wrote the rule
Yeah,
set. Okay, I see.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's looking a little
Uh,
suspicious, isn't it? Yeah. Did he? Was it a +1 for every roll that he did? Anyway, okay, we won't cast too much over it. But what race did he take? What was his
he,
race?
he took Norse.
Norse, interesting. How many skills they get? Were they getting on the 7 skills, weren't they, or 6?
Oh,
6 or 7, I think it was for Norse. That's
I will
interesting.
tell you, yeah. So that's his 38th tournament win. So I mean,
Wow,
the man
wow.
knows his way around
Well,
a NAF tournament. Yeah.
congratulations, my goodness me, that'll be 50 before you know it, won't it? Wow,
Well,
that's a massive,
absolutely.
that's a
Yeah.
massive number of tournament wins. My God.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it? But yeah, I can't remember where they are in the tiering. Actually, probably something we need to look at closer to the
Yeah, we'll
time.
look at it.
Yeah,
Well, we're both going, when we do our pre UKTC podcast, maybe on the next one, or maybe another one. If they're going to take this long, we might have to do this a bit more regularly, mate. I didn't, I thought we'd blast through it in half an hour and be
an
done.
hour. Yeah.
But yeah, now we're on
Um,
an hour and skipping bits. Yeah.
I mean, look, Orcs were second, which is interesting to me. Because I
Yeah.
think Orcs have been a bit maligned. Chap
I
called
think
James.
the big
You'll
ones.
like this.
Yep.
James underscore. He's got an underscore after his name,
Oh,
and
James
he not only
underscore.
he not only picked up a second place, he also picked up best painted, which is pretty
Wow,
good.
fantastic. That's great. I think Orcs with the big uns, the movement 5 big uns have just changed Orcs completely. Games Workshop don't seem to think it, but other rule sets do, and I think that the big uns getting movement 5 is such a huge buff. Like, wow. You're now no longer outrunning your cage. When you're having to run downfield with your thrower or something, you're no longer out. Or a blitzer carrying the ball. You're now no longer outrunning the cage, because with the movement 5 you can trundle down the pitch quite comfortably. And they're faster than dwarves. They're faster than dwarves now.
And yet, in general, across, if you look at some of the stats that people like Mike Davis produce, I'm not aware that they've particularly done that well.
Yeah, I think
So,
I think it's about the skills on the actual players' choice. I think that's where they fall down. I think I've yet to see the orc build where I go, oh, that's it, right? Because there's so much
that's the problem,
variety.
isn't it?
There's so much
In
variety.
theory, they look great.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, okay, I've got 6 skills. Well, okay, 2 guard black orcs, 2 block black orcs. Oh, is it a guard and a mighty blow? Okay, or is it a block thrower? Okay, right. Okay, I'm going to put 2 unskilled black orcs, 2 block black orcs, 3 guard, and a tackle. On the blitzers, and there's so many options that you can do. Oh, they've got a double available to them. Well, are we putting block on a troll? Are we taking a troll? Are we taking goblins? Are we taking a thrower? All these things. They've almost got too much choice, but it just feels like the big uns have got that secret buff that's
Yeah.
they're going to be good when
Someone
someone
just
cracks it. When someone cracks it, they're going to be
it's gonna work.
strong. Yeah, they're going to be strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Running through the others, Carlisle Reavers in Carlisle, Stars and Mercs available.
Okay.
Doug Lowe got his second tournament win.
Congratulations, Doug. I know the name.
He'll
Yep.
be at Waterbowl, I believe.
Oh, fantastic.
Flings came second in that one.
Well, with Stars though, and a Merc, I guess you
and
could
Mercs,
probably make.
yeah.
I guess you could probably make something quite nice for halflings there. And also, I don't know about what other inducements were allowed, because the halflings, when you give them when you give them some fun toys, they can actually be quite dangerous.
Yeah. Fatboy Slimming and Thor as a team took the Midwinter Madness tournament in Cheltenham.
Yep,
Fatboy
squad. Yep, again with Vamp squad Chaos. Shout out to the Squad Chaos crew. Again, they run a podcast, lovely podcast. They also run a fantastic Discord server, the Squad Chaos Discord server. Thrud Bowl as well. Big shout out to Thor and the Squad Chaos lot for Thrud. Nothing but love for those guys.
Playing in that on Fumble at the moment. So,
lovely. Oh yeah. Oh my God, we haven't touched on that. Oh God, there's so much stuff we haven't touched. I know. I've got I'm in the Fumble Minor, 1350 TV Fumble Minor with some Dark Elves. So it's low level Blood Bowl, which I love.
Not naff, though,
no, it's not naff, but it is lower. It is lower TV though. So I like my lower TV stuff. So.
Well, it's probably sensible for us at this point in this tournament, Midwinter Madness, to mention the Team Wales captain, 20 Phoenix, and his partner took home the award for the most touchdowns for a team.
Fantastic.
Anyone with Team Wales aspirations probably wants to mention 20 Phoenix.
Yes. Big up 20 Phoenix. Whoop whoop. Go 20p. Good lad, Gareth. Good lad. He's on my UKTC team.
So. Oh, he is. You've got a step further.
Yeah. I'm getting ever closer. Yeah, I've infiltrated the inner circles of Team Wales. Yes. No, it's all good. Yeah. What? Any more tournaments?
Yeah,
couple more.
Just a couple. UK BBL.
Oh yes. Gav Coleman.
Gav Coleman.
Another Welsh player. Great.
First tournament win for Punchy McCragfists.
Oh,
his Chorfs.
Chorfs, eh?
Maiden tournament win.
Now they allowed Stars, didn't they?
They did. They were. I believe he had Hackflem.
Yeah.
Interesting though.
Yeah.
Davo was about third or fourth, I think.
Yeah. Top three, I think. Yep.
Yeah. But Norse was second in that one, without a star. A very good Norse player called the Rake.
The Rake, yep. I've played against him, yep. With Norse as well, yeah.
Yep.
Very good player. Yep.
Then what else we got? We got Killer Clip won the Chaos Cards Winter Trophy.
Okay.
Now, Killer Clip, he's only his second ever tournament.
Wow.
And he's already taken home, or they have already taken home.
Wow.
And not a particularly. I mean, Stars were only allowed for stunties. There was everyone had to pick a Chaos God, and there was a bonus available.
Oh, I saw this one. Yeah, I saw this one. Yeah. Yeah. So you had to do it was something like some sort of D6 roll at the start, and there was a chance that it could go horribly wrong, but also it could go very, very right.
Yeah. This is it. And Killer Clippers, just their second ever tournament, has taken home a tournament.
Well, fantastic. Credit to them on that one. Well done.
And then,
well done.
And then the last one, in Morpeth, there was the Charity Bowl.
Okay. Interesting.
I think probably sounds like it was more towards the fun end of the spectrum. Free secret weapons.
Oh, lovely.
An opportunity to bribe the tournament organizer.
Oh, fantastic! Well, for charity though, anything goes, mate. That sounds like fantastic. This is what I love about Blood Bowl, right? Is it doesn't matter what I would want to go to. It doesn't. So for example, I'm hearing. So I've heard about. I'm hearing this tournament. The last two tournaments we've seen. You've mentioned there, and I'm thinking, would I go and attend them? Personally, no. Right? I'm more on that side of, how can I abuse the Waterbowl rule set to make sure I win some games, kind of thing, right? But I am absolutely not going to stand on in a tower on something and knock any tournament that just wants to have some fun and do something different with this game, because that's what the game's about, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's so much fun. Like, I love Foul Bowl, and you
yeah.
get a free bribe. Like it's and you get bonus points if you kill people while fouling. You know, it's not necessarily how the game should be played. If you're going to be really strict down we got to play no stars, proper or tight, six and 0 or 5-1, that's your lot kind of thing. But it's different, and that's the best thing about it. Like the Thrub Bowl guys with their online stuff, they got rid of stars and brought in their own Thrub Bowl stars to give the stunties something. It's great fun, great fun. That's what it's about.
The variety is the spice of life, right? And
Definitely.
It's the spice of Blood Bowl, and the moment that all tournaments are exactly the same,
Yeah, it's a goner.
we
Yeah.
lose half the player base.
Yeah, what we meant to do. Yeah.
And so having the variety and having tournaments that are no tiers, 6 skills is great.
Yeah.
Having tournaments that are 8 tiers and a real broad spectrum of skills is great. Having tournaments where you can stars and mercs is great. Having a tournament where you could bribe the tournament organizer is great.
Especially if it's a charity one. That's
absolutely.
perfect. That's perfect. I think there's we've seen it with Thrud, of course, being a real forerunner in the charity scene and stuff. But there are plenty of other tournaments that also do charity based stuff for using Blood Bowl, because it's such a generous community.
Absolutely.
And that's just amazing.
However, Charity Bowl does appear to have been won by Bucky1398, who I think was also the organizer. So whether Bucky bribed themselves,
well, I mean, I guess if you're the organizer and you can bribe yourself and bribe your draw, I mean, there seems like there needs to be an investigation here, because it sounds like there was some sort of party going on when he didn't realise it was a party. There's some investigation needs to happen.
But what I will mention is that the aforementioned James _
Oh yes.
Came up with another second place.
Amazing, clearly on form. This bodes well for people. This bodes well for people with an underscore in their name.
Yeah. And the only other UK tournament that I could find was Super Bowl 8, which was in London.
Oh yes.
But I cannot find anywhere
you can't find any information. Okay. Well, we've mentioned them, so that was important. That was a lovely little roundup. So,
I'll just say, upcoming we have Waterbowl, obviously.
Yeah.
But before that, there is this weekend. I think there is Alpha Games Winter Bowl in Bury St Edmunds.
Yep.
There is Beach Bowl, which looks like, and as I understand it, day 1 is a Blood Bowl tournament, and day 2 is a Sevens tournament.
Oh, lovely. Beach Bowl, though, in the middle of February in the UK is a bold statement. I've been in the North Sea in October before, and that's cold. So,
I don't know if it's because the person that I know that is going is Orkster.
Oh yes, we know Orkster. Yeah, lovely guy.
Now I don't know if that means the tournament is somewhere in Wales.
I see what you mean. Yeah, maybe Bristol way.
Maybe so, but I mean, I spent some time at university in Aberystwyth, and it didn't seem to matter what month it was.
People go in the sea, do they? Yeah.
People go in the sea, yeah.
Oh, fair enough then. Very good. Good.
And then obviously Waterbowl in 2 weeks. And then, of course, we need to mention, I'm not going to butcher the pronunciation of this, the Cardid Cup.
Yes.
Being run by 20 Phoenix.
20 Phoenix again? What a great guy. What a great guy 20 Phoenix is. Oh, look at that. Credit to Team Wales running tournaments as well. Oh, best captain I've ever seen.
Unbelievable.
Amazing. Oh, fantastic. What a legend of the game. Amazing.
And that's that. I mean, we may in a future episode try and expand it out and include some more internationals.
Yeah, sure.
I just had time to have a look at the UK.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really nice. So something that's caught my eye, right? Maybe fortuitously. Maybe we'll end on this. Is you mentioned Norse picking up a win and a second place. Sounds interesting that you mentioned Norse. And there was a little faux pas by Forge World by accidentally sending out what has now been confirmed to be a Yeti figure,
Yes.
which would suggest that unless we've got a new race coming to the Blood Bowl 2020 rule set,
Ooh.
we might be
Ooh.
seeing a Norse return. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can't speculate too much, right? We don't know what's going on.
No.
It's just a figure, but
Well,
clearly it shows Games Workshop as supporting the game more.
well, let's look at it this way. So, I mean, BB 2020 was leaked, right?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
stolen or something to a large extent.
Yep.
The Yeti's been accidentally leaked or sent out accidentally or something. So, the suspicious-minded could attribute this to some kind of interesting sort of marketing
Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah. Marketing
to sort of
campaign.
build.
Yep.
But
Build a bit of hype.
yeah, but I think what we can say is, look, they brought out the book, the new game, and the teams and the races that came along with that. They have obviously then brought Corn in,
Yes.
out of the
Yep.
being a purely sort of NAF backed race,
And Blood Bowl 1. Yep.
Blood Bowl 1, sorry, yeah,
Yep.
and put that in as a team, right? You've also got this bank of teams, and obviously the other one in that category is obviously Slan, and I think we know that Slan are never going to happen.
No. Sadly, they are a goner. I think
they're a goner. Now they might do them in a different way, but whatever. Slan are never going to happen. So from a Games Workshop perspective, what's next? Well, obviously the Team of Legends are next. That PDF with Chaos Dwarfs and Amazons and Norse and
Tomb Kings. Yeah.
Tomb Kings.
Yeah. Chorfs, wasn't it? Yeah.
So when I saw Khorne, and they were that packed to the gunnels with Frenzy, and now Armour 7, I did ponder whether
that was the Norse replacement.
Yeah, because maybe they felt that was the only way to do Khorne, and they had to do. I don't know, but it does feel to me like, and I've got no knowledge. I don't know anyone that works. Purely guesswork here. It does feel to me like we Norse would be the natural next team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that they may look a little different to how they look now. And I've got no.
Yeah. We don't. Yeah. Exactly. We can't. We can't speculate. But we know there's a Yeti, right? So that means there's a big guy. And it's a beautiful model as well.
Really nice.
So yeah. And I guess then we'll let's wrap it up. But that's also going to be something that then maybe next week after our Waterbowl round. Next week I say next after Waterbowl when we have a fortnight's time when we have another chat at post Waterbowl. Maybe we can start looking at what the implications for that might be for the Eurobowl rule set, because on the Eurobowl rule set, which of course came out recently, they did say they would make some changes. They reserved the right to change things if Games Workshop released teams, etc. So will we see the Norse change to fit whatever GW produce?
I mean, presumably it's going to depend on when the rules for them are released, because
timing.
Which is too.
Yeah, if they come out in March, there'll be time to do it. If they come out in July, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose it'll depend on that. But I mean, who knows? Because I think the thing is, it's all speculation. The models got sent out. Yeah, they've confirmed it. In quite a clever way. There was a bit of a thing, wasn't there, about a Yeti sighted?
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. I thought someone's getting a pay rise for that one. Someone's probably fired for the model being leaked, and someone's probably got a pay rise out of that pocket from the salvaging of the campaign. I thought it was a fantastic one. Yeah, really clever.
It was
clever.
Good. But other than that, we've got no. I mean, it's total speculation, right? We've got no idea really exactly what's going to happen.
No.
Maybe we'll get our AV 10 plus Norse. Maybe we'll get Norse or with Wrestle. I don't know.
Oh yeah, God, yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll get exactly the same positionals we had before. Maybe we'll get new positionals. Who knows?
Exactly.
Who knows?
Maybe they'll
Fantastic.
combine them with Amazon's.
Oh my
We'll get
God! Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
it. You'll
Blodge Norse.
lodge
That'll be the day. Oh
lodge
God,
everywhere.
blodge everywhere. Oh God. Right. On that thought, shall we wrap it up? Hour and 15 minutes we've been going for, mate. Unbelievable. It's flown
Yeah,
by. It's
it
flown
really
by.
has.
It's flown by.
Um,
So I guess let's wrap it up. So I'm Hellboy. I'm streaming on Twitch. So if you are a fan on Twitch, do check me out. It's twitch.tv/Hellboy_. The underscore is very important. As
you
we
won't
said,
find him without the
yeah,
underscore.
you won't find me without the underscore. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm streaming Blood Bowl 2. I'm streaming quite a lot at the moment. So yeah, have a look around and you'll find me. So yeah, have a look at that. But yeah, I've been Hellboy.
I've been TheFear.
Brilliant. And that was episode 1 of the Blood Bowl Diaries. Fantastic. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.